The other piece of news that wasn't directly Gamescom related, but I think was released because Gamescom is happening, is there's been a lot of rumors and stuff about the new PlayStation Portable device, and we finally have a name and a price. It's the PlayStation Portal, which isn't a terrible name.
I still like Project Q better, but that's just me.
And it's $199.
Yep.
So it is what the leaked photos look like. It looks like somebody sawed a DualSense 2 controller in half and basically glued it to a tablet.
Yep.
That's what it looks like. It doesn't look terrible, and if you're used to the DualSense controller, I think it'll feel very comfortable.
How much is a DualSense right now? About 80 bucks. It's like 80 bucks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we now know that it is a Wi-Fi connected, must be linked to your PS5 device. I'm really curious how well this is going to sell. Yeah. I was hoping for a fully portable device, a la a Steam Deck or a PSP or a Vita. That's not what this is.
Nope. Even something that I was kind of hoping for, something that I can even load things up, presumably digitally.
Yeah. There's basically no internal memory, according to the preview that I read today.
It is just a in-home streaming device.
It's the thing that came with the Wii U.
Exactly. So if for some reason you're not playing your PlayStation 5 on your nice TV and you got to give that up, and you don't have another TV in your house already, you can go buy this $200 controller attached to a screen, which, honestly, the screen looks pretty good.
And all the reviews say the screen, the one hands-on that I saw said the screen, the image quality is really good.
And I think that's the important part, especially when I'm like connecting to my PlayStation 5. I want that super crisp, clean, hopefully 4K feel when I'm looking at this smaller screen. Resolution is going to play a lot into that, where it's going to be smaller, so they're going to be able to play with resolution a little bit and have it run fine. But yeah, $200 for a in-home gaming device that is specifically for when you can't access or don't want to be on your TV is a hard sell for me. At $200, I think a lot of people are going to pick it up though, because of the fact that if it would have been $150, it would have flown off the shelves. 200 is a little bit of like the high end where I think that you could sell that at. Anything above 200, like if this would have come in at 250, no chance. Because it's just an accessory, and not an accessory in the way that the VR system is. It is just a screen and another controller.
Yeah.
That is it.
Chad's saying they think Sony's going to take a bath in this. It's possible.
It is. Yeah, it is.
The interesting thing is, I know I personally, with the Wii U, which is, again, the closest thing I've seen to this, where it had the screen controller that you could remote your stuff out. I used it a lot at that time just because, again, life circumstances stuff, right? Didn't want to be sitting on the couch, things like that. I was really hoping that Sony was going to come out with a fully portable device, right? If this was a device that I could be like, okay, I'm playing, Street Fighter 6, but I got to go jump on the train. Let me just stop, pause my game save, grab my portal, and then I can go do it elsewhere, or on a plane, or anywhere else.
So, this is something I don't have full information on yet. Are we 100% sure it is a Wi-Fi, like a home Wi-Fi only?
That appears to be the case, but let me double check really quick.
Because my immediate thought is, well, tether to your phone and get on the internet, and does it connect that way, yada yada, but it could also just be in-home Wi-Fi.
All right, so I am on the PlayStation blog right now. Wireless earbuds, blah, 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 blah. So it's a LCD screen, 60 FPS.
Some of this stuff feels a lot like how Apple does their products, especially with the VR headset being more expensive than the actual console.
So,
go ahead.
On the PlayStation blog, PlayStation Portal will connect remotely to your PS5 over Wi-Fi. So you'll be able to swiftly jump from playing on your PS5 to your PlayStation Portal. It can play supported games that are installed on your PS5 console and use the DualSense controller, 3.5mm audio jack for wired audio.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. It has a headphone jack?
It has a headphone jack.
Okay, it's small, but important to a lot of people.
It is. So here's the target demo for this in my head, right? The target demo is 12 to 16 years old. I'm at home on a Sunday, and my dad wants to watch football on the big TV.
Yeah.
That my PlayStation's hooked to.
I can see that for sure.
Like, again, I love the idea in theory, but again, like you said, like $200 is probably a stretch too far for my personal situation.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, especially when you like, what's the use case there? Kind of like you said. But at that point, you probably already have a TV in another room that the console could go on. So like, I don't know. That is a really tough sell.
Yeah.
The reason that I think it will sell though is because of the way that Sony, I believe Sony and PlayStation especially, is trying to position themselves like the Apple or the iPhone market, where it's like they do shit's super expensive, but they know it's going to sell because whales, high-end consumers, people like that end up buying this product. And to Sony, much like when the scalping stuff was happening and the consoles were flying off the shelves according to them, and they were like, oh yeah, we're making record numbers, blah, blah, blah. That's all that matters. If it sells, it sells. If it gets out the door, it gets out the door. And there is a sort of weird niche aspect for a lot of these people that have a lot of money where they're going to go buy something like this. I know a friend of mine that bought the fucking headset and has literally never touched the damn thing. He just had enough money to buy it.
I think the other reason I think I'm a little frustrated with this is Sony has a history, and maybe this is partially why Sony's doing what they're doing. I'm curious. I would love to be inside of Sony's boardrooms to hear their product managers pitch this stuff. Because I think Sony has a history of really well made, but critically undervalued mobile devices.
Talking like the Vita,
the PSP.
Yeah.
I loved my PSP. I
They
had the PSP.
that phone one for a while too.
Oh yeah.
They had a lot of weird little shit like that.
But I thought the PSP was really well put together, especially at the time before Wi-Fi and a lot of that stuff could go. With the little miniature CDs that were protected too.
Oh, the UMDs.
Yep.
Loved them.
UMDs were great. I even bought movies on the UMD for when I was traveling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
And then the Vita again, I think was criminally underrated for what it was capable of.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. No, you could. And this is another example of like the use cases, because like that is a console you could connect to your PlayStation 4 and play PlayStation 4 on your Vita while you're laying in bed. Like I remember playing Destiny very vividly.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like again the Sony market is weird, right? Like the one that I didn't expect between the two was the earbuds. Why? Like why? Like is there that much of a gap in the market like that you could slide some earbuds in there? Because that was the one between the portable monitor, between the in-house portable monitor screen thing and the earbuds. I was like, this makes sense. The earbuds don't make a ton of sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be curious to see more reviews on this. Like you said before, like basically one person has gotten hands on from Sony where they were like, here, you review it.
And they're a Sony person, so like it's hard to, I know it's probably an unbiased review, but there's always that little bit.
Yeah, I know they're shooting for 7 to 9 hours of battery life and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm having a hard time for the use case. And again, I would love an actual legit Sony mobile product.
Yeah.
There's so many good games on PlayStation that like.
So the real question is going to be, going forward, especially with seeing the success of things like Steam Deck and the Switch, and we don't know what the new product from Nintendo is going to look like. Do we see a world in which that these big monolithic consoles are no longer what they're pumping out, but we get similar, if not the same level of hardware in something like a Switch from Sony for their next console and Xbox? Because all of this stuff is moving more and more towards this cloud gaming, download, install, play sort of stuff. And we saw with both companies with their last consoles put out a discless version. Yeah.
And I think that, so digital distribution is obviously fully taken over. Like the number of, I would, now I'm going to have to go look after the stream. I would guess that the number of people who buy games on disc now, not counting Switch, right? Because it's got that little.
Switch is kind of special. I like buying physical Switch games too.
But I would say outside of that, I would say the number of people who buy physical discs anymore is probably less than 15% of the market. Now, I think cloud gaming still has a long ways to go.
Yeah. Well, and Microsoft looks to be selling off the cloud gaming stuff that they're bought. So.
Now, and like, for example, I use Game Pass, right? I have one of our Series X's at my house, and I've been testing it a lot with the cloud functionality.
Okay.
And even wired, because I have wired internet in my house, not on Wi-Fi, there is definitive input lag.
Really? Okay. So what game is it the most noticeable that you could say off the top of your head?
So the two that I noticed it most was Injustice.
Okay, fair.
Right? And then GTA 5.
GTA 5. Wow.
I was trying GTA 5 Cloud, and I was in that opening sequence where you're running away from the bank. And, like, doing the shootout with the cops in the back of the bank, like, my aiming, it was jerky.
Dang.
Right? Like, I was having a hard time lining up my shots because there's that lag, right? And again, this isn't on Microsoft or Sony or anybody else like that, but I think I don't think that game streaming and basically being able to stream out the game is going to be functional until our internet infrastructure in this country, like in places like Japan and Korea and places where they've really heavily invested in their high-speed internet. A lot of people think that we're at the forefront of high-speed internet in the United States, and we are not.
We are not.
We are not even freaking close.
And we're in Seattle. Like,
in an area where it's good.
We're pretty lucky here. I know some people that are lucky if they get 2 megabytes.
And to answer somebody in the question, because somebody in the chat brought up fiber. I have fiber, by the way. That's on fiber.
I have
because it's not about. See, you're thinking about download speed, right? It's not about download speed. The game will load quickly. Yeah. If I go to the cloud gaming function where I'm doing the game streaming on my Game Pass, it will load fast. It's not about download speed.
Set upload speed.
It's about ping, right? It's about how fast those signals are coming back and forth between, that ping and uptimes is what kills it right now. And I have fiber, and again, I run wired internet through my whole house, right? I'm not on Wi-Fi at home. So.
Yeah, and I think this is why, we're seeing, I think a lot of us know or can speculate as to like, the Activision Blizzard King thing, bought by Microsoft, all this stuff. A lot of their mobile stuff being sold off is very interesting to me, their cloud stuff specifically. The one thing that I think a lot of people forget about or don't think about is the King side of that ABK.
Oh, yeah.
I think Activision Blizzard King a lot of it was bought because... King.
They want that Candy Crush
They
money.
want that Candy Crush money. They want that Mobile Division money. They want that Call of Duty mobile money as well, because just by buying ABK, they have one of the most, if not the most dominant mobile games out there under their belt, which Microsoft has never been able to break into the mobile division, whether it's hardware or anything else.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see.